The wild creatures never signed an agreement to stay out of our way. They are waiting under the rocks, tucked inside the firewood, and staying completely hidden in the shadows. Today, we are counting down the top 10 deadliest animals in the Appalachian Mountains, ranked by the actual risk, medical impact, and sheer danger they bring to those who share these ancient hills. By the time we reach number 1, you will see why the most hazardous creature in these mountains isn't even a predator. Now, let's get into the list, starting with number 10, the black widow spider. In 10th place, the black widow spider proves that a tiny size does not mean low risk. Tucked beneath rocks, inside woodpiles, and in the dark shadows of Appalachian cabins, this glossy black spider with its signature bright red hourglass can deliver a bite packed with alpha-latrotoxin. This neurotoxin is potent enough to trigger severe pain, intense muscle cramps, and dangerous systemic reactions throughout the entire body. The CDC estimates between 150 and 230 black widow bites occur each year in the region. Fortunately, fatalities are vanishingly rare, thanks to quick medical care and the availability of specialized antivenom, which can cost up to $5,000 per treatment. Historical cases show how serious it used to be. In the 1930s, a West Virginia farmer wasn't so lucky when his bite, left untreated in a remote area, became a tragic cautionary tale for rural families. Children and the elderly face the highest biological risk from a bite. Despite having an extreme venom toxicity with an LD50 of about 0.5 milligrams per kilogram, the spider injects only a tiny fraction of that dose during a defensive bite. The best defense is simple vigilance. Always check firewood, shake out work gloves, and avoid reaching blindly into dark corners. Today, most bites resolve within a day, but the black widow's combination of hidden habitats and powerful venom earns it a solid place among the deadliest creatures in the Appalachians. Number 9. The brown recluse spider. Taking 9th place, the brown recluse spider turns cluttered basements and storage sheds into hidden danger zones right across the southern Appalachian foothills. Measuring between 8 to 10 millimeters, this spider is best recognized by a distinct violin-shaped marking on its back, an unmistakable cue for those who know what to look for. The real threat lies in its venom, which contains sphingomyelinase D, a destructive enzyme that breaks down cell membranes and can lead to deep, necrotic skin ulcers. While the brown recluse is rarely seen outdoors in the humid Appalachian climate, it thrives indoors in dry, undisturbed corners, especially inside older homes or seasonal cabins. Nationwide, brown recluse bites account for roughly 1 to 2 deaths each year, with young children being the most vulnerable. Within the Appalachian region, these spiders are responsible for approximately 2.2% of all reported arthropod injuries. However, misdiagnosis is extremely common. About 70% of suspected recluse bites turn out to be caused by something else entirely. Recent medical advances, such as a rapid PCR-based diagnostic kit introduced in 2023, offer hope for faster and more accurate identification, though most doctors still rely on clinical judgment. The true hazard of the brown recluse is often completely invisible, lurking in the shadows and causing severe, painful skin destruction that can require weeks of medical recovery. Knowing how to identify that violin marking and keeping indoor spaces free of clutter is more than just good housekeeping here. It's a matter of safety. Number 8. The bobcat. 8th place goes to the bobcat, an animal that commands plenty of stories but far fewer real injuries in the Appalachian Mountains. With more than 2,500 sightings logged by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency over the past decade, bobcats are clearly thriving in the region's forests and rural edges. Yet the actual risk to people remains extremely low. Fewer than 5 bite or scratch incidents have been officially recorded in the same 10-year window, putting the odds of a dangerous encounter at less than 1 in 500 sightings. Rabies, often a major concern with wild mammals, has not been confirmed in any Appalachian bobcat attacks on humans, according to CDC surveillance data. Most bobcats avoid people entirely, preferring to hunt at dawn and dusk. However, they may lash out if cornered or if someone tries to intervene during a pet attack. For hikers and pet owners, the best precaution is to keep small animals indoors at night and never attempt to feed or approach a bobcat. While their claws and teeth can inflict serious wounds, the rarity of aggressive incidents keeps the bobcat as a low but genuine risk in Appalachian life. Number 7. The wild boar. Wild boars present a rapidly growing hazard in the Appalachian Mountains. Originally introduced for hunting, these invasive animals now number over 25,000 across Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Kentucky alone. Weighing up to 300 pounds, a wild boar can accelerate to 30 miles per hour in a matter of seconds, delivering a charge that exerts more than 1,500 newtons of force, enough to break bone and cause deep tissue trauma. Field surveys from state wildlife agencies confirm that wild boars are responsible for approximately 12% of all large mammal trauma cases reported in Pennsylvania emergency rooms, a figure that has doubled in the past decade as populations expand. The risk intensifies during the rutting season from September through November, when males become aggressively territorial and far more likely to initiate unprovoked charges. Unlike traditional predators, wild boars combine the unpredictability of a wild animal with the physical power of a moving battering ram. As one Appalachian trauma surgeon observed, a charging boar can do in seconds what it takes a bear minutes to accomplish: shatter a leg, open a severe wound, and leave a victim stranded. With their numbers climbing and their range spreading into new counties each year, wild boars now represent a direct threat not only to hikers and hunters, but also to rural communities and livestock. Number 6. The black bear. The black bear stands as the largest land mammal in the Appalachian Mountains, and its presence is felt from the valleys of Shenandoah to the high ridges of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. With more than 1,900 bears estimated in the Smokies alone, these omnivores roam vast territories in search of berries, nuts, and all too often, unattended human food. While naturally shy, a bear conditioned to human food can become bold and highly unpredictable. Over the last 22 years, park records confirmed 12 bear attacks on people, 4 of which led to serious injuries. Property losses have topped $3.2 million from torn tents, raided vehicles, and destroyed food caches. The risks became all too real in 2012 when a group of campers left trash out overnight, luring a massive male bear into their sight. The resulting attack left one teenager hospitalized and forced a major policy change. By 2021, strict rules made bear-resistant canisters mandatory for all overnight hikers in national parks and forests across Tennessee, Virginia, and North Carolina. For campers and backpackers, the lesson is clear: secure your food, follow bear-aware protocols, and respect these powerful animals, not just for your safety, but for theirs. Number 5. The American alligator. The American alligator brings a jolt of southern menace to the Appalachian edge, especially in the lakes, rivers, and backwaters near the foothills. While not a native resident of the high mountains, confirmed sightings as recently as 2022 along the Nolichucky River have startled biologists and locals alike, evidence that warming climates may be nudging these ancient predators northward. Alligators are built for ambush, lurking just beneath the waterline before exploding upward with a bite force measured at 2,125 pounds per square inch, enough to shatter bone in an instant. Across the United States, alligator attacks average 3 deaths per year, but in the southern Appalachian fringe, the risk is less about numbers and more about the near certainty of fatality if an attack occurs. Between 2020 and 2024, 12 injury incidents were logged in the broader region, most involving anglers or children approaching shoreline nests. The best advice? Never approach a sunning alligator or disturb shoreline nests, especially in warming years when their range may expand. In the Appalachian foothills, the water's edge now carries a new and very real kind of danger. Number 4. The copperhead snake. The copperhead snake stands out as the most frequently encountered venomous snake in the Appalachian Mountains, responsible for nearly 30% of all snakebite incidents in the region. The copperhead's risk comes not from extreme venom potency, but from how often people cross its path. Hospital records from 2022 document 22 copperhead-related admissions, making this species a regular fixture in emergency rooms throughout spring and summer. The copperhead's venom, with an LD50 of about 0.8 milligrams per kilogram, is less toxic than that of rattlesnakes or cottonmouths, yet it can still cause intense pain, swelling, and tissue damage, especially in children or those with underlying health conditions. What makes these snakes especially hazardous is their camouflage. Copperheads blend seamlessly into the moist leaf litter and underbrush that covers much of the Appalachian forest floor, making them nearly invisible to hikers, gardeners, and children playing outdoors. Most bites happen when someone unknowingly steps on or near a hidden snake. While fatalities are rare, the pain and recovery time can be significant. The best defense is simple. Wear boots on trails, watch where you step in leafy or rocky areas, and never reach blindly into brush or wood piles. The copperhead's combination of high encounter rates and moderate venom makes it a perennial concern for anyone enjoying the wild beauty of Appalachia. Number 3. The timber rattlesnake. Taking the third spot on our list, the timber rattlesnake reigns as the largest and most venomous pit viper in the Appalachian range. Growing up to 5 feet long and armed with fangs capable of driving venom deep into muscular tissue, this apex reptile is built for defense. Its hemotoxic venom works rapidly to break down red blood cells, destroy surrounding muscle tissue, and cause severe, life-threatening internal damage. State health department records show that timber rattlesnakes account for roughly 15% of all venomous snake bites in the Appalachian Highlands each year. What makes the timber rattlesnake so dangerous is not aggressive behavior. In fact, it is surprisingly docile compared to other vipers, but its uncanny ability to disappear into its surroundings. Coiled silently among rocky outcroppings, rotting logs, or sunny trail edges, its dark, chevron-patterned scales blend seamlessly into the forest floor. While it possesses a loud, rattling tail to warn off threats, it doesn't always choose to use it before striking if stepped on directly. Emergency room data reveals that a severe bite requires immediate administration of antivenom, often costing upwards of tens of thousands of dollars per patient stay. Hikers and outdoor workers are urged to give rocky ledges a wide berth, keep pets strictly on a leash, and never attempt to handle or corner a rattlesnake. Respecting its territory is the single best way to avoid a catastrophic encounter with Appalachia's heaviest venomous threat. Number 2. The cottonmouth snake. Securing second place is the infamous cottonmouth, also known as the water moccasin. While predominantly associated with southern swamps, this heavy-bodied pit viper routinely invades the slow-moving streams, lakes, and muddy bottomlands along the lower Appalachian valleys. What sets the cottonmouth apart from almost every other snake on this list is its notoriously defensive nature and sheer physical aggression when cornered. Unlike many aquatic snakes that flee at the first splash, a threatened cottonmouth will often coil its thick body, throw its head backward, and snap its jaws wide open to expose the stark, milky white interior of its mouth as a final warning. Its venom contains powerful cytotoxic enzymes that cause rapid, excruciating tissue destruction, severe swelling, and, in severe untreated cases, permanent limb impairment or systemic organ failure. Regional poison control centers log dozens of cottonmouth encounters annually throughout the lower elevation waterways of the region. A significant portion of these bites occur among kayakers, anglers wading near dense shoreline brush, or swimming families who mistake the dark, floating profile of a cottonmouth for a harmless water snake. Because cottonmouths swim with their entire bodies floating on top of the water rather than submerged, they are easy to spot if you know what to look for, but reaching into murky water near fallen logs remains one of the fastest ways to trigger an attack. Number 2 goes to the undisputed ruler of Appalachian backwaters, turning trusted swimming holes into high-risk zones. Number 1. The rabid mammal. And finally, we arrive at the number 1 spot on our list, which belongs to an unseen terror, the rabid mammal. It claims the top position not because it represents a single biological species, but because rabies turns everyday familiar forest animals into completely indiscriminate lethal vectors. In the dense woods and rural valleys of the Appalachians, raccoons, skunks, foxes, and bats serve as the primary reservoirs for this relentless virus. Rabies carries a nearly 100% mortality rate once clinical symptoms manifest. The virus attacks the central nervous system, transforming typically shy or passive creatures into aggressive, disoriented animals that lose all natural fear of humans. The real hazard lies in how subtle the early warning signs can be. An unsuspecting homeowner might approach a dazed raccoon in broad daylight, or a hiker might attempt to rescue an injured bat on the trail, only to be met with a sudden, aggressive bite that breaks the skin. Public health tracking data indicates that thousands of post-exposure prophylaxis (PEP) treatment series are administered across the region every year, following close contacts with suspected wild vectors. While medical intervention is entirely effective if given immediately after exposure, missing that critical window leads to an inevitable, fatal outcome. The terrifying reality of rabies is that it strips away an animal's natural behavior, converting the most familiar wildlife into an absolute biological hazard. It takes the #1 spot because it is the ultimate hidden threat, an unseen killer operating in plain sight right outside your back door.